I'm pleased to bring in Republican strategist Katie Frost and criminal defense attorney Michael Gottlieb back with us. Hi, panel. Great to see you.
Great to be back. Thank you.
One thing Harmeet told me earlier, and I thought this was pretty fascinating, is that, you know, if they're being told that they could have exposure, why not, you know, say we're just going to comply? This is a law. And she said maybe it's Michael, I'll ask you, since you're an attorney, that not knowing, then they can feign ignorance, you know, plausible deniability. I mean, because otherwise I don't understand why they would not want to protect themselves from legal exposure. But she's saying that cooperating, then they have to do something about it.
Yeah, I can't really understand why any state wouldn't be cooperating with the federal government at this point in time to turn over the roles and let the federal government vet who they believe is or isn't eligible to vote. That doesn't mean the federal government can take those names off the eligible voter rolls. It's still up to the state to make that final determination. So I really don't understand the lack of cooperation here.
Yeah, I don't either, but I also know if they're found to be, you know, breaking the law, they will go after them, Katie. I mean, this isn't just a warning from Harmeet. You know, she's beefing up. They swore in 100 extra attorneys yesterday over at Civil Rights Division.
Well, absolutely. And unfortunately, we're taking what should be a very common sense issue that we all agree on, is that protecting our elections and making sure that only American citizens are voting in American elections. It has now become a political issue. And as you're saying, the majority of the states that are objecting are Democrat states, because they've been put in a position by the radical fringes of their party that you cannot work with the Trump administration on anything, for any reason, at any time. And it puts them in a horrible position, whether it's cleaning up their cities and getting criminals who are here in the country illegally out of their cities, or getting people who are on the voting rolls illegally off of them because, oh, you'd be working with the big bad Trump. They can't do anything. And it puts these states in a very vulnerable position. And this is why anyone who lives in a blue state, you need to move to a red one.
Yeah, well, you know, it's interesting. She said even some red states are pushing back. So I don't know. We got to watch it. There's a lot of primaries coming up. People want to obviously have safe in election integrity. We know they support the Save America Act. Doesn't seem like that's going to go anywhere, unfortunately, despite President Trump's consistent messaging on that. Let's talk about Mom Donnie's messaging. He puts up this map of immigrant enclaves, but very noticeable is that he doesn't put any Jewish areas. He doesn't put Irish. He doesn't put Little Italy. So what does he add? Well, he makes sure he puts in Little Pakistan, Little Egypt, Chinatown, Koreatown. Obviously, there's a real concern for people of the Jewish faith. I'll put this up here. New York City Councilwoman writing on X saying, a win for tolerance and equity. Each time Mondami gets more and more creative on how to shun certain groups. This time he has figuratively wiped out Italians, Jews, and the Irish, a.k.a. the privileged white colonialist oppressors, all opposed to him. What a great mayor for all New Yorkers. Yikes. Michael, pick up on that and why you think that he's so comfortable being excluding those people in New York City. Well, didn't he say he was going to be the mayor for everybody?
Yeah, he did say that. He's clearly not. This is from his playbook, day one. You know, he came out, he got rid of the IRA definition of anti-Semitism in New York. He disbanded the task force to deal with anti-Semitism. He continues to marginalize the Jewish people in New York City. And in doing so, in this most recent move, he's taken Little Italy with them. That is the first sector of New York City of individuals in their own little enclave. And what he's done is he's highlighted the Muslim portions. You clearly see this is a playbook from, I think, the Islamist jihadist playbook.
Yeah. And you know what? Spencer Pratt says it's not a mistake either. Of course, former LA candidate. And I'll put up his reaction. Katie, you can jump in on this. He says it's like leaving out Mexican and Persian enclaves in LA. It's not an oopsie, deliberate. Michael agrees, and he says it's part of the playbook. But you have to wonder, again, I go back to why is he so comfortable being so open with all of this? It's pretty wild that they're just not even hiding any of their biases, their perhaps hatred, for their non-tolerance. They're just putting it out there saying, like, we won't allow you to exist.
It really is mind blowing. It's also highly ironic that the party of the land acknowledgements cannot acknowledge the contributions of the Irish, the Italians, and the Jews building the incredible city
Yeah.
that is New York. But he did have room on there for Little Tibet. I looked it up before this segment. People who are Tibet ancestry account for approximately 0.15% of New York City's population. We make sure we have space on the map for Little Tibet, but Little Italy, Little Ireland, no, it's nowhere on there. And the incredible impact of the Jewish communities all across the city, who represent up to 12% of the population, nope, they don't get to make it on the map either.
No, well, when people tell you who they are, you got to believe them. What do we believe about Democrat Graham Platner? The main candidate suspending his Senate candidacy, his campaign. There's a sexual assault allegation, a rape allegation. He denies it. Of course, a lot of the controversies surrounding him started with the Nazi tattoo, the social media posts, allegations involving other women and physicality. I want to play a little bit, guys, of a video that he posted denying any wrongdoing, as he said he would be suspending his campaign.
As many of you know, over the past couple days, I have faced some very serious allegations, and I just want to make it clear. This is all false. The things that have been claimed did not happen. We are suspending campaign operations. This is incredibly difficult because I know that some will think it's an admission of guilt, and it most certainly is not. We're not doing it because of the allegations. We're doing it because of the structures that are being taken away from us by those in power.
The nerve. Wow. Michael, you know, the people who accused him, I'm sure that's not sitting well with them, but he was plucked from obscurity by these Democrats. They should have seen it coming. Your reaction to how he is framing this now?
Yeah, he wasn't properly vetted by the national party. He can frame it any way he wants. I think he lied and showed his true colors when he talked about his tattoo, and he showed the cover up and said, "What Nazi tattoo?" From that point forward, how could you believe anything that he says? So he can say what he wants, but we know the truth. He's being squeezed out. There's probably truth to the allegations, and they can find a better candidate. They have till July 27th to do so.
Well, they should have seen it coming. And this whole, we just have a big tent theory that I heard from every Democrat who came on here, downplaying the allegations, downplaying that tattoo. They deserve this. Katie, I had one guest today who said, well, why doesn't he just still continue to run? He says he's innocent. But obviously there's a lot of pressure. We'll see who they get to choose
I'm
now.
a Democrat. I want them out.
Yeah, there you go. Katie, final thought?
He posted was 11 minutes long. You do not need 11 minutes to explain all these allegations. But one of the biggest things that I thought when I looked at this is all these women have come forward and said he was sending them inappropriate messages. He assaulted them. There's also a rape allegation. Just how bad is the dating pool in Maine that this many women want to go out with Graham Platner? I do not understand what this guy's appeal is, but hopefully they will get a much better candidate. They have a very narrow window of time. I still think it looks good for Susan Collins.
Yeah, I think Susan Collins now seems like pretty good odds on that. Katie Frost, Michael Gottlieb, thank you both. Good to see you.